introduce benevolent artificial general universe. Yeah.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Kennedy Shaw. I'm CEO and founder of Bgi Biotech, sister company to Bgi AI. I'm an evolutionary biologist by training. I was mentored by Michael Rose at UC Irvine, and we are here building a drug discovery platform based on our neurosymbolic AI and crowdsourced human data, and with the goal of solving aging-related disease and human longevity. Bgi Bio is currently doing a crowdfund. The QR code was up there. It will be back up there in a bit, so you can link to that if anybody is interested in learning more about that. So, thank you, Eric.
Thank you. As you can see, a very diverse panel that makes the conversation great, hopefully. What I find interesting, this topic has already impacted society, but also on the economy. As a lecturer, my students ask me how my future looks like, that what they learn at the moment is obsolete, but that's why it's great that we have this summit, that we have this discussions. So the main topic is how can we facilitate the rollout of early stage AGI technologies in beneficial domains as education, science and art. So what I want to do, for example, Kennedy, what is your expertise or vision on this topic?
I think in the field of biomedical research, what will be really important is ensuring the diversity of our data sets. One thing that's really exciting to me about the review project and being a part of it is that we have an opportunity to finally gain a diverse, robust human data set to use our AI to develop real life-saving pharmaceuticals. And in the march towards personalized medicine, that's going to be crucial, because the paradox of personalized medicine is that in order to understand one person well, you have to understand a lot of people very well. And we've kind of failed in the biomedical research community to do that up until now. Most human data sets that we have from human trials tend to be wealthier white people, and we won't be able to have personalized medicine for everybody unless that changes. And so I think that's really a crucial thing in the early rollout of AGI in biomedical research, is making it accessible for everybody to contribute their data, making sure that there is an adequate and appropriate incentive for people to contribute their data, and letting them be a part of the creation of these products and this research to solve aging and death.
All right, great. Thank you for your answer. And Deborah, can you elaborate something on this topic as well?
Yes. Well, the most important thing for us to do in the near term is to apply AGI to science, because AGI also has potential for disinformation, and human beings themselves don't do science very well. We can only handle reductionistic information. So our job is really to take all those individual pieces of knowledge and put it together in a coherent picture. I believe AGI is what can help us to be holistic about science and discover all the causal mechanisms behind it, so that we can take all these, scattered small truths and make larger truths out of it.
Right. So you're from the deterministic school, so to speak. A little bit.
I don't know. I don't see why that is deterministic. I think we have willpower to affect how things go. For example, we may only have a short time to have control because we don't have control over ASI.
Well, I'm a little bit from the same school. That's why. So if you go then to the other realm, from the holistic view, maybe Randall can say something about this.
The holistic view?
Yeah.
I don't know if my view is really holistic, but what I've found anyway is that first of all, of course, there's a really strong connection between advances in AI and AGI eventually, and neuroscience. There's this virtuous cycle that happens, right? Because as you learn something in neuroscience, you find out more about how cognition is done in the brain, and that helps you come up with parts of this AI or AGI puzzle that you're still trying to figure out. And AI helps you do things in science that you otherwise could never do. So it's not that people are being replaced, for example, by, or at least in science right now, they're not being replaced by AI, it's that the things they can do are very different. Right now, you're seeing a huge paradigm change begin to happen in neuroscience, for instance. Like I was at the annual neuroscience meeting in November. There are 30,000 scientists there. 90% of the posters were still all about, say, you make a little perturbation here, you have a hypothesis, you're testing something up here, you're doing a prediction, that's it. You're not really learning about the system and how it works. But there's a small kernel of people. That's all you really need, a kernel and then some enthusiastic young people who aren't stuck in whatever their lab's already doing. And so you're seeing that there are 200 maybe scientists who have understood that right now we're switching to a realm where AI is giving us access to the kind of data that you need, that you can do large-scale reconstructions of circuitry and really understand what's happening by combining what's going on in one brain region with the other brain region and seeing exactly what's happening. So you're not doing these correlational studies, but instead when you want to predict what's going to happen, you can follow how the activity is really moving down the system. You couldn't do this before. So it's changing the nature of what's possible. It's changing what new people getting into that field can do.
Yeah, all right, great answer. So Joshua, maybe you have something to add to this.
Well, I think to always play the other side, to understand the here we have the researchers and brilliant minds, but the average person may not understand how we are processing this, right? So I always say, to go back to the theme of this, education. I always say education is marketing, marketing is education. So when we have it for the masses and why we're doing it in gaming, 70 million users a day in Roblox, gamifying that, when you have education and you gamify it, and you gamify it in a way with neuroscience and different ways to understand information and you market it correctly, when you role play becoming something, like in Roblox, sometimes you show 9 to 11 times more retention of that information, right? So I mean, with that number, like even if we have 2x, the compounding amount for education, if it's daily, then by the end of the year, I mean, you do the math. So I think that's where we see in the future, look at education in a different way, a different light. And with the AI applied to that gamification of these spatial webs, these spatial worlds, where the gaming and the internet combined is what I call the spatial web. Now AI helps you take that 2x to 3x to 4x. And that, when you talk about education and then now apply it to science and learning science, that is the future. And I think that is a daily augmentation of understanding yourself, and that's why I go back to Pain to Joy tomorrow, hopefully on conference, that daily personal growth of understanding yourself. It is personalized medicine. You have that based on you. And that in real time, if gamified, you're in real time playing your own world. You're in your own sphere of influence. And that's what's best for you. So I think that that's what it looks like for education and understanding how we make it marketable for the average person. So for me to take and synthesize all of this information, which most of the world doesn't understand, but if we can synthesize it in a way that it is marketable and we can go to market with something that's different, I think that that's actually unique.
Yeah, okay. I understand that the question that has some dangers. I mean, you look at OpenAI, they just flooded the floor with all kinds of technology. We really can see that it's biases going on. If you look at personal medicine, you have a danger of biases. Maybe Kennedy, you can say something.
Well, yeah, I mean, the most publicly facing example of this that we've seen recently is that pulse oximeters don't work on people with dark skin. That's an example of bias in biomedical research that we have fallen victim to up until now. And that's something that we have to change if personalized medicine is going to succeed, if we're going to create effective therapies that work on a personal level and for everybody. We need to alleviate that. I mean, I believe that starts with how we go about sourcing our data from diverse populations to help remove that bias, and then also making sure that our AI models control for that bias as well. So
yeah, so you're touching inclusivity.
Right.
So maybe you can tell something about Jam Galaxy, and maybe this is about something about inclusivity.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the great thing about Jam Galaxy is it's starting with music, and everybody loves music, and we are all made of music, together we're music, the whole universe is music. And it's a cool way to begin because so many people are digging into this passion of theirs that they really enjoy, and through that process, we can start to educate people on these topics that we all know very well, and also through gamification as well. I really think that's a cool way to like just start to teach and help people understand what's happening and what can happen. And then from there, we just kind of, we just end up on this journey together, you know, as, I mean, I think of us all as like stars, where each of us is a star, and our relationship to each other is like stars relating to stars and stuff like that. So it starts us on this journey of discovery of our own divine nature, and where we go with all of this. We have AGI and Asian intelligence here to teach us about how to do this. And it'll be accelerated, but at the same time, AI can also help each individual. It will meet them where they're at to help them on their path. So it's not just like, you know, here's what it is, you know, that kind of thing. So it's just like asks a bunch of questions, has a really great conversation about, you know, discovering your joy, discovering what makes you happy, discovering why you are so special. And so starting with music is just a really great way to do that. And yeah, I'm really excited about the future. I think we have a really beautiful future in store for us.
All right, yeah, thank you. Yeah, great answer anyway. So it's time to bring a new topic into the discourse, and I want to talk about ethics. These domains have huge impact on the new generation, because the students of today are the leaders of tomorrow. So how can we navigate the ethical considerations and maximize the benefits of AGI in these industries? Maybe I can start with you.
Okay. AGI is a neutral technology. It can be ethical or unethical depending on who uses it and what they use it for. In a sense, it's unethical in that it's a power. It's a power that can be given to everybody now, and is dangerous in the sense of everybody having a nuclear bomb in their backyard being dangerous. Somebody's going to press a button, right? Mm-hmm. So what we have to do to be ethical about it is address the possible things that can go wrong as soon as possible. And one of the main things that can go wrong is disinformation, election tampering, job loss, and just changing our perceptions of reality. And so one of the things we can do to combat that is use the AGI itself to simulate what happens to our social structures when they have a certain infrastructure behind them, and who's working with them, and how is it that we can cause a fundamental change in that. Rejuve.ai is working to combine blockchain to cause a change in that infrastructure so that instead of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, that labor cannot be sold to other people so easily that people can always expect their IP and their data from their bodies to be protected, and that the blockchain ensures that with every sale of product that someone contributes to, that they get their fair compensation in proportion.
Right, thank you. So Joshua, maybe you have something to add on that?
I think I was talking to Ben about this yesterday. He's big into education, and so I think it starts with education. We were talking about basically a consumer report for education and tools around AI. So education, and from a non-biased point of view, and this with SNET being the largest decentralized ecosystem, I think this is a great opportunity to lead the charge. And 100 AI companies out there, 100 universities, 100 multinationals that support this growing, knowing this is the future of humanity, what that looks like. So almost like Reddit uploading, hey, this is a very decentralized way. If I have a 6-year-old and I'm a young single mother, how do I teach my kid AI for video just to enhance? He wants to create a YouTube channel or TikTok, right? So in real time, you're able to understand that collective force of knowledge and that enforcement, and from a non-biased point of view. And I think it's very important for AI ethics. So education being that focus, and letting the cream rise to the top, and that being the focus.
All right, thank you. Diane, I see you nodding, so maybe you answer the this?
Yeah, I was thinking about just in relation to educating and connecting with people. I lost my train of thought. It was what I was thinking about before this, but oh yeah. So just as we get into the system and as we get into educating, I actually when my daughters were really young, I designed an early childhood development program. I'm going to launch it at some point, but it kind of just starts the individual down the path. And so I think it's really important that from the start, we put together a system where people own all of their data, they own their music, they own their art, they own their attention also. So you own what you pay attention to, you own a record of your attention, you own the present attention, you own any prediction of attention based on what you pay attention to. And so I think that that's also a huge thing that we can start to teach each other, because then we can become more aware of what is actually happening out there in society, and then if we're connected to owning that and deciding what we want to be putting out there and that kind of thing, and I think that can kind of help curb that path.
All right, thank you. Yeah, because we want to keep the systems inclusive for everyone. So Randall, what's your opinion on that one?
Yeah, so I think that an enormously important thing in all types of ethics is that you can't assume that any one group of people, individuals, institutions can understand a problem, can understand something well enough to even think of all of the ethical issues that might be involved or how to tackle those matters.